Okay, wait a second. Let's just pause the chaos and look at what just happened. Diddy went from billionaire mogul with jets and mansions to broke and begging for bail. It's not just a fall from grace, that's a plummet off the edge of relevance. And the fact that his lawyers are applying for bail for the 5th time. You know things are bad when even the legal team's running out of ways to spin it. But here's the tea. Is this justice catching up? Or is this just another celeb in crisis mode with a Bali exit plan in his back pocket? Either way, the real question is, will the industry actually shut the door on Diddy forever? Or are we watching yet another comeback arc loading?
Nah, Diddy's in a tricky situation.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you think it's over as him as far as
jail?
like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so. I don't think he gets locked up.
I think he skates.
I think he skates. Or he goes to like Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a move, huh?
I want to declare right here over these digital airwaves of YouTube that the career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over. This is over. It's over in the worst possible way, one of the worst possible ways you can imagine.
Okay, pause. Let's just process that for a second, Diddy. The self-declared bad boy for life just got the literal key to New York City weeks before his legal drama hit the fan. Like, is this the universe serving irony on a platinum platter, or what? This man was standing next to billionaires, hanging with Jay-Z and Mark Cuban like it's brunch at Soho House. And the mayor himself, Eric Adams, was up there handing him the golden pass to the city like he just saved Gotham. Now here's the real kicker. Was this key a symbol of legacy? Or a last-minute PR move to keep the fairy tale alive before things imploded? Let's not pretend the timing wasn't suspiciously cinematic. You've got an album dropping, a Jumbotron tribute, and political handshakes all colliding. Right before headlines flip the script, so the question is, did the city crown a king or unintentionally anoint a scandal?
This is 2020, y'all. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artist.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album, Off the Grid.
And just like that, the Diddy empire didn't just stumble. Face planted. Think about it. We're not just talking a dip in revenue. We're talking $500 million evaporating like it was just bad vibe season. Spirits alone, down $550 million. Like, how do you go from mogul of the moment to returning the key to New York City in under a year? The wildest part. His cash is lower, his investments are tanking, and even his catalog, the stuff legends are made of, isn't holding like it used to. This isn't just bad press. It's a reputation detox on a billionaire scale. Was it cancel culture? Brand betrayal? Or the weight of secrets finally cracking the glass castle? And real talk, where are all those A-listers now who used to swear by Diddy's side?
New tonight, Sean Diddy Combs returned his honorary key to the city at the request of Mayor Eric Adams. The Harlem native was awarded the key last September, but returned it on June 10th.
All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirits. 70% was spirits, $700 million. 50 million was private investments. Then you see 75 million cash, 100 million real estate and collectibles, 75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened during that time when you think about his net worth?
Wow. So let's just pause here for a second. Jay-Z staying silent. That's not just awkward, that's icy. I mean, this is the same guy Diddy was partying with at billionaire brunches, dapping up in front of cameras like they were hip-hop. Royalty, and now, radio silence. You've got to wonder, was Jay-Z distancing himself on purpose? Was he already seeing this crash coming? Or was their whole friendship just a business alliance built on smoke and mirrors? The kind where loyalty ends the minute the headlines turn ugly? And let's be real, if even Jay-Z kept his mouth shut during this entire mess, it raises a massive red flag. What did he know and when?
This is how I really feel, right? Other than him just being a freak. I don't know how you get in that position and do all of this wild. It just leads me to believe you don't have no real friends around you. Well, because if you're worth $1 billion and you're the guy that has all of these different people employed, like literally you're the reason all of this stuff is happening. All of these people have jobs. You mean to tell me not one person says, bro, you got to stop around with all these drugs. Bro, you got to stop around with all this alcohol. Bro, you need to stop around with all these girls. Bro, stop it with the prostitutes. Why do you have guns in the house with the serial number scratched off? Like nobody, not one person comes around and says, what the f*** are you doing?
Big breaking news tonight, and for the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
Okay, wait, pause. So let's get this straight. Diddy rides the Cyrock wave all the way to billionaire status, then allegedly tries to slide Diageo out of the picture like they didn't bankroll the whole thing. The math isn't mathing, but the drama is mathing hard. And now, the very company that helped build his empire is shutting him out? If this was chess, Diageo just went Queen's Gambit on him, in the lawsuit that follows. Total power shift. But here's the real question. Was this Diddy being bold, or did he bite the hand that poured the vodka? Because let's be real. Turning on Diageo is like picking a fight with the liquor mafia. They don't just do vodka. They basically own every bar shelf in America.
I mean, for me, it kind of fit my brand. You know, my brand, I was known as the king of celebration, the king of parties, and I wanted something that was luxurious and aspirational, and I saw an opportunity in ultra premium sector of vodka. I was naturally a vodka drinker, and you know, I knew about Ciroc, and I knew that it at the time it wasn't. People weren't really connecting with it, with the messaging, and so I proposed to Diageo. Maybe we enter a partnership. Let's see how it goes. I told them these, you know, astronomical numbers that I felt I could hit, and
you hit them.
I hit them. We take a lot of pride in the way that we have marketed and the success we've had, but we also take a lot of pride in the responsibility, awareness aspect that we've brought to the industry.
When you compare him to some other people net worth-wise with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye, this is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing. In 2011, he was roughly $450. Today he's $2.5 billion. Dre goes from where he was at $150 million at the time. He's worth roughly $980 million today. Diddy goes from $450, same place, to $1 billion down to $300 million. And then Kanye goes from wherever he was. You look at the report today, you'll either see $300 million or $2.77 billion, depending on who's doing the audits. Forbes says $300 million. Okay, so let's go look at the Ciroc deal, what happened. So Diddy in 2007 does the Ciroc deal, which is a partnership with Diageo to revive Ciroc vodka, taking a 50-50 profit sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So Ciroc, hey, this is big. We're bringing Diddy and he's going to take it from 40,000 to 2 million. Profitable. This is great. Let's make some money together. 2013, De Leon Tequila co-ownership. Diddy and Diageo jointly acquired De Leon Tequila, making it a deeper investment relationship. May of 2023, Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner.
So let's pause for a second and really sit with that. His personal planes were allegedly used for trafficking minors. It's not just flexing in the sky, but flying into some seriously dark allegations. Like, we're talking about a man who once symbolized luxury and power in hip-hop. Now having his empire dissected piece by piece by the FBI, it's giving from mogul to menace. And if these claims hold, it's not just about money or fame anymore. It's about how deep the rot. really goes. Do you think Diddy was running a business or cover? And more importantly, how many people knew and stayed silent?
Fox Business Network's Taylor Riggs says Diddy's financial bleeding shows no sign of stopping.
All I know is that good attorneys charge a lot per hour. We know that they have a big case ahead of them. They also have a lot of those civil trials.
I had a big year this year. His $60 million private jet has already been sold. The snazzy plane, sports cars, mansions from LA to Miami and the Hamptons, $1 million in jewelry and over $20 million in top-of-the-line art, including works by Andy Warhol. That's just a short list of Diddy's physical wealth. But now, with his legal nightmare getting even more frightening, Diddy put his Beverly Hills mansion, that was raided in March, on the market for $61 million.
If people don't want to touch anything with your name on it, you have to look at other tangible assets that you can sell.
The 54-year-old's long legal fight ahead includes over 24 current cases alleging sexual racketeering. Diddy has vehemently denied all the charges and accusations against him.
And a Justice Department forfeiture action that could cost him his empire. An empire that prosecutors allege was built, at least in part, through a pattern of criminal activity, including alleged sex trafficking, drug distribution, and violence, all used to advance what they call a racketeering enterprise. In the unsealed indictment, prosecutors outline how his business and personal assets allegedly played a role in carrying out or concealing the crimes. This means any assets connected to the behavior, even indirectly, could be seized, including real estate, companies, vehicles, and aircrafts. Now, his $60 million private jet has reportedly already been sold. The Beverly Hills estate is currently on the market for $61 million. And while Combs still owns his $48 million Miami mansion, a judge denied his request to use it as collateral for bond.
Whoa. Let's pause on that $600 million number real quick, because that's not just pocket change, that's legacy money. And the fact that Diddy's bleeding cash before the gavel is even dropped, that's wild, you have to ask. Was the empire ever really that solid? Or was it always held together with celebrity duct tape and billion-dollar branding deals? Like, where are the Revolt Boys now? Where's Ciroc in all this? The silence from Jay-Z deafening. The question is no longer will he recover? It's what won't they take? Because if prosecutors are framing this as a full-on RICO operation, they're coming for the whole dynasty. Not just Diddy the man, but Diddy the brand, the mogul, the movement. This is giving financial wipeout meets social exile.
In an effort to protect what's left of his assets, Combs hired Stefan Casella, former deputy chief of the Justice Department's asset forfeiture and money laundering section, to fight the forfeiture action. If the jury finds Combs guilty, it will be up to them to determine how much of Combs' assets are subject to forfeiture. Anything forfeited after a conviction could be used to support alleged victims. Sean Combs denies all allegations. And to help us break down what's at stake, I'm joined by Jim Trusty. He's the former chief of the Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure. Good to be here.
So, Jim, let's start with the forfeiture. This isn't just about prison time anymore. Prosecutors want his empire. From what you've seen in the filings, how aggressive is this?
Well, it looks to be very aggressive, and there's a couple of reasons I say that. The first is it's very broadly worded. What they're talking about is essentially any property, real or personal, that could constitute either facilitating property or instrumentalities, they call it, or proceeds. And so that's kind of the whole business empire of P. Diddy being at risk. And that's the second part, which is it's a RICO case, a criminal enterprise case, where they've defined the organization, the criminal enterprise, as not just Sean Combs, but as all these business interests that he has, including liquor labels, music labels, everything else you can think of. So they've set it up in a way where when they get to a forfeiture phase, if there's a conviction, the sky's the limit, and it looks like they're going to try to take a piece out of him everywhere he's ever touched.
Who? $10 million just to stay out of jail? That's not a legal team. That's a full-blown Avengers squad in pinstripe suits. While Diddy's busy cutting million-dollar checks, the real storm isn't just in the courtroom. It's in the boardrooms, the brand deals, the silence that's getting louder by the day. Let's keep it real. Diageo didn't drop in with fireworks. They dipped in total silence. No drama, no statement, just a quiet unfollow from the corporate world. That's scarier than a public cancellation, because it means the machine is moving on. It doesn't care if you notice. Revolt TV, bleeding, viewers are gone. Advertisers are gone. Staff are ghosting. That shiny empire, it's giving Titanic and there's no lifeboat this time, and Sean John. Please, that brand has less pulse than a Nokia ringtone. Once a flex, now just a clearance rack memory. So here's the real tea. Is this karma pulling receipts? Or is this what happens when the culture shifts and leaves you behind? Either way, Diddy's not just in legal trouble, he's in legacy trouble.
And here's what people don't realize. Diddy's not just burning money on defense. His income sources are collapsing one by one, if not already collapsed. Ciroc's parent company, Diageo, dropped him. Quietly. No fanfare, no public fight. Just a quiet, chilling severance. Revolt TV is bleeding viewers and advertisers amid backlash over Diddy's involvement. Staff are quitting. Execs are jumping ship. He already sold his stake in it, but now that's dying. Sean John is a ghost brand, barely sold in department stores, relying on licensing deals that are now being reevaluated. That $400 million fortune is shrinking fast, and Diddy knows it.
And this right here, this is where the mask starts to crack. Because let's be real, how many times have we seen powerful men blame mental health? After they've already burned the world around them, it's giving PR spin, not personal. Growth Diddy's move to join a rehab program now, when the sentence is looming and his empire shaking, that's not redemption, that's strategy. The real question is, does the judge buy it? And even bigger, should the public forgive? Because rehab doesn't erase the past, especially not when the past includes years of unchecked violence, abuse, and ego. This ain't healing, this is damage control, and fans aren't stupid. Are you?
Appease the judge so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still gonna say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense gonna do? They're gonna come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're gonna put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing, who did this crime. So now the judge gonna look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report, and decide what kind of time he gonna give him. But all that programming that he doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class, they take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, you know, he say, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're gonna refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taking is to get him out of jail and nothing more. I don't give a flying F about him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10, it usually helps.
Okay, pause. Are we really supposed to believe that after multiple denied bail requests and literal years of silence, Diddy suddenly woke up and decided it's time to heal? Like, bro, you're not starring in a redemption arc. This ain't Netflix. The timing alone is giving panic mode. And enrolling in feel-good programs right after being denied bail? That's not growth. That's PRC-PR. Let's not forget, courts don't care about vibe shifts. They care about paperwork, prior records, and what the pre-sentence report says. And if that doc is as messy as Diddy's timeline, then no amount of healing will save him from the judge's side eye. Was this about change or strategy? Tell me.
Green deal. Happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man. We're going to find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release, or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officer, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that. And they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is gonna have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. Probably 22 to 54 months. And they're not gonna probably run that consecutive.
Okay, let's just pause right there. $50 million. That's not a bail package. That's a billionaire's Hail Mary. I mean, mansion on the line. Surrendering his passport, no phone, no internet, and private security, watching him like a hawk. That's not freedom. That's luxury lockdown. The desperation here is screaming louder than a bad boy ad-lib. But here's what we need to talk about. Is this just a strategy to control the narrative from inside his mansion walls? Or is Diddy really trying to show the court he's changed overnight? Because let's be real, this kind of offer doesn't scream reform. It screams, I'll pay anything to go home. And considering the weight of the charges and public outrage, will this high-stakes bargain actually sway the judge? Or will it backfire and make him look even more out of touch? Either way, this is not your usual celebrity bond request. This is Diddy playing chess with the feds. Your move, Judge.
Now to the Sean Diddy Combs case. We may learn this week if he will be released on bond while he awaits sentencing. His lawyers filed a request asking the judge to release Combs on $50 million bond. Combs was convicted earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The government is expected to respond by this Thursday. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October.
Said, no, these are all the things you did even after you knew that we were going to be sitting right here together. You're going to stay where you at until we figure out the sentencing.
All right. Well,
when you ask what Diddy should do if he comes home, he should do the work on himself. That's what he should be doing. He should be going to do some deep, intense therapy. He needs to find God. That's what he needs to be doing. He shouldn't be worried about no career. He shouldn't be worried about trying to get back professionally. He should be focusing on his personal life. That's what he should be doing.
Let's really sit with this for a second, because this isn't just some lawyer filing paperwork. This is someone who lived inside the chaos saying, this man cannot walk free. Deontay Nash isn't some anonymous source. He's someone who stood in that courtroom, testified to the violence, and is now putting it in writing again. Diddy is a threat. Think about that. The friend, the stylist, the eyewitness. He's not trying to make headlines. He's trying to stop more people from getting hurt. And honestly, the way Diddy's always managed to dodge accountability, it's giving Teflon. Energy. But even Teflon peels when the heat is real enough. Question is, will the court finally treat him like anyone else? Or are we about to watch the rich walk again?
Cassie Ventura's friend Deontay Nash has sent a letter to the judge requesting that he deny Diddy's bail. You know, Deontay Nash is one of Cassie's friends, and he was also her former stylist who testified against Diddy in his criminal trial. He testified about multiple instances of violence that he endured and that he also saw Cassie Ventura go through. Now he has just submitted a letter to the judge asking that he deny Diddy's bail until Diddy is sentenced on the 2 charges of prosta. Deontay Deontay Nash said, "I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness that you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he possesses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward." Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time, this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenged or exposed him.
Okay, let's just pause right there, because Freddie P isn't just throwing out paranoid guesses. This man sounds like he's reading off a hit list with names underlined in red ink. Okay. If someone says, "pack the little white guy up," that's not just protective advice. That's code for run now or regret it later. And when someone adds, "if I were Diddy, I'd have your boyfriend beat up every time I saw him," it's giving mob boss energy, not music mogul. This whole thing feels less like celebrity gossip and more like a deleted scene from Power. The scariest part, Freddie isn't even joking. He's emotional, he's raw, and he's almost too comfortable spelling out what he would do. So the question is this just protective paranoia? Or is Freddie revealing how people in Diddy's circle really think?
And now, Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Because if you think Sean and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like, I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean's gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the feds. You see his kids dancing around, they don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as shit. I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what P. Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took 30 million from me, I would advise you to get it. I would get out and tell you to leave the country.
Okay, pause. Let's unpack that. We're talking about a man facing allegations stacked higher than his private jets, and yet there's talk that he might walk away with everything. Planes, power, and a clean slate. If Suge Knight's claims about Diddy being a federal informant hold even a grain of truth, we're not just watching a scandal. We're watching a power play of legendary proportions. And here's the real kicker. If Diddy walks, what message does that send? That billionaires can buy silence? Or that in this industry, it's not what you've done, it's what you know. Out. Think about it. Are we witnessing the fall of a mogul or the rise of a myth?
He's going to go to prison. And if he do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is KPD. KPD been an informant for a very, very long time. And KPD is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. KPD said it, everybody else know it. And KPD says the money came from Puffy, the kid Tupac, and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, KPD would have put a deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That'd have been the RICO right there. That'd have been murder for hire right there.
Is Diddy at a level of being untouchable where he's protected, or is Diddy a target that they'll eventually put all the blame on him and make sure they get away with it free?
I mean, he's definitely going to be the black motherfucker from the bag. Because you gotta realize one thing. That boy's life is dangerous. His life isn't, and he's just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He knows too much. One thing you gotta realize is he probably having a conversation right now with the higher-ups and everybody else to figure out how it's gonna work itself out. Because he know all the secrets. And if he gets to run his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry needs to be built over. You have all these executives, there's somebody who's their father, their grandfather, or all these type of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio. Because at that time, they was getting 5%, and they got 10%, those popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio with my songs into 97%. So you have to really do all this thing and really do the work. And once it work.
Whoa, pause right there. Let's talk about this fallout, because this isn't just your average celebrity PR crisis. This is what a complete power vacuum looks like. Diddy built an empire that touched fashion, alcohol, music, even tech. And now, it's crumbling in real time. What's wild is how fast people turned. Friends ghosted, brands bolted, and silence suddenly became everyone's favorite accessory. Remember when he was everywhere? Bet awards, billionaire brunches, key to the city. Now it's like no one wants to be caught in his gravity. Is it cancel culture or calculated survival? And what does that say about loyalty in the industry? Let's just say, when the lights go out, we find out who stayed for the spotlight and who was just standing in it.